Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to welcome you all to the 49th session of Beyond Research, where curiosity meets conversation, our Students Networking and Journal Club program. So, today we are honored to have Miss Pritee Subhadarshini as our distinguished speaker. Miss Subhadarshini is currently pursuing her PhD at Tel Aviv University in Israel, where she specializes in plant evolutionary ecology with a particular focus on endangered plant species. Her research explores the evolutionary processes and ecological factors that shape plant diversity and survival, contributing valuable insights to the conservation of threatened flora. With her dedication to advancing our understanding of plant evolution and conservation, Ms. Subhadarshini ma'am brings a unique and global perspective to our discussion today. So please join me in warmly welcoming Ms. Preeti Subhadarshini ma'am.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to share my screen, but I don't see like the options to share my screen.
Ma'am, there would be an
Ma'am?
option besides the mic button.
Yeah, I get it, but it's like only meeting organizers can present.
Oh,
So
just a
I'm
minute,
not.
ma'am.
Just a minute,
I'll
ma'am.
check.
Yeah, I'll check. Yeah.
Ma'am, are you able to share your screen now?
No, not yet. It's still the same.
Okay, just a minute, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Should I just like mail you the presentation and you can share if it's not working?
Yes, ma'am. No issues for that.
Okay. But I would prefer if you could like grant me the permission for sharing.
Yes, ma'am.
And in the
I'm checking
meantime,
that only.
yeah, yeah. And in the meantime, I will just mail you.
Okay, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should be able to share your screen
Yeah,
now.
now, yes, yes, yes. Now I can share it. Give me a second. Is it visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, uh, as said, my name is Pritee Subhadarshini, and I'm a PhD student in Tel Aviv University, Israel. And presently, I'm working on plant evolutionary ecology. But I won't be discussing about plant evolutionary ecology, but I want to discuss about how to get into a PhD abroad, like how to select the universities and what are the pros, what are the cons, and what's the step, and everything you need to know for starting your PhD application program. So, first of all, why did I always mention that it's like you should apply in top 1000 universities and not below it? It's like the PhD from top 1500 universities are valid in India if you have a net. And if you don't have net qualified, then top 500 universities are preferred and they are uh, considered it's like a good PhD, and then you get better positions. But what's the difference in doing a PhD in India or in doing a PhD outside India? And what are the pros and what are the cons and how to do it? So first of all, if you do a PhD in India, you need to qualify CSIR net or any other net, and then you get a stipend and you get enrolled in an organization. And the stipend ranges from like 35 K to 40K, depends on where you are doing your PhD, depends on the housing allowances and a lot more things. And if you don't qualify net, there are also many other options. Like you can go with GATE, and then you can go with like Central University things where they pay you a stipend of, I guess, 6,000 or 12,000 rupees, which is like less than a pocket money actually. Like it's you will spend most of your money with like buying bread and butter. It's like very end to end thing. And also there is a thing that if you are doing PhD, you are giving a major portion of your life, of your time, energy in that PhD thing, in that degree. So, and in India also, it's sometimes like they take 6 years to 7 years to do a PhD. And the scholarship is just like for 5 years. So these are some of the cons which have we face in doing a PhD in India. So, but when you select to do a PhD outside India, there are a few points like you first of all you are ensured that you will get a PhD position in like 4 years. Somewhere it's like 3 years, and in a few places it's like 5.5 years. Like you like for sure you will get a PhD in 5 or 5.5 years. Like I'm saying 5.5 years because the documentation process also takes some time. So that's a plus point that you can be very sure that okay, how long this PhD is going to take you. And then apart from that, you get scholarship, which you can also like you can do some savings, you can think about your future, and for sure money speaks. Like money is important because after like 5 years or 6 years of doing PhD, when you go outside and you don't have enough, it's really difficult to think what to do. And after that mostly people try for a postdoc outside India. So anyway, if you are in like science, you have to try to go out in some of the good universities where you get more exposure and you get financially stronger, and then you build network, you have connections. And then when you return to India, you have better probability of getting a position or securing something in India. But there are a few cons also of doing a PhD outside India. First thing is that you will obviously miss India because the culture is different. And
Excuse me,
apart
ma'am.
from, yes,
Apologies for the interruption, ma'am. Are you changing your slide?
no, I'm not.
Oh, okay, ma'am. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. So now, if we know that, okay, there are some pros and cons in both the things. So, if we want to proceed for a PhD outside, which universities should we think of? Like, what are the universities we must be thinking about? So, if you are qualifying net, like if you qualified any type of net, CSIR net or UGC net or any net, then you can apply for top 1,500 universities in India. That's valid by UGC guidelines. And if you don't have net, then you can apply for top 500 universities, and your PhD will be valid for Indian academia. If I speak about Tel Aviv University, it's in top 200 in the world, which is like a good rank. And also they are like taking students from India. Like these days there is a shortage of PhD students in the universities of Israel because of the war. So they are also like encouraging that students from India and China and like mostly like these countries, they come and do their PhD and research. So Israel is a very nice place to do PhD these days, like in this scenario. As you know that in the US, there is a fund crunch because of the Trump government. They just announced that there won't be, like they did some cutting from the research. So like Israel is a good option to do a PhD these days. Now, when you think about ranking of the universities, you can refer to the QS ranking system or the time or the wait, give me a second. Yes, like if you're thinking about the ranking, then you should go with the QS ranking system or the Times Higher Education ranking system for understanding that which universities fall in which rank. Then, if you think about a PhD, first thing comes that we should know which field of study are we working on, and each university has different ranking for each of its studies. For example, if I discuss about Tel Aviv University, the plant science department is like in top uh, 50 or 60 in world, if I talk about the department. So you should know what is the ranking of your university in each department. Then you should also think about your research interest and what is your career goal. Like many people do a PhD outside just to get a good job or like to be in R&D and go to industry, which is good, which is fine because it gives you a lot of financial stability after a certain point and you earn a lot after a point. So if that's your career goal, then you should think about your PhD program and PhD project accordingly. Your supervisor, you should go through their profile according to that. And there are also some personal preferences, like if you are thinking of settling in a place, getting a citizenship in some place, then you should also consider these things, like what are the rules, citizenship rules, if you are willing to learn a language there and things like that. For Israel, you don't get a citizenship in Israel because it's like a country based on religion. This country was formed because of the religion. So you need to be a Jew to get a citizenship in Israel. And But if you are looking for a citizenship in any other country, then you can think of the Scandinavian countries, and also you can think of countries like Norway, Sweden, and Germany, and these things. And also Australia is good. Then there are certain more things like you should consider like racism. Racism is for sure a thing, like it's for real. So you should also think and also know the scenario, okay, what happens and how is the situation in those countries. And you should think about the research standards for sure, like that's important. And then you must be knowing about what is the usual uh, index of the salary, like what's the average salary or average stipend? Is it less than any other place? For me, like in Israel, it's like Tel Aviv is one of the most expensive cities of the world. It's like in top five of the most expensive cities of the world. And in case of stipend, uh, they give you around like a normal stipend in Israel is around $1,500 to $2,000. Like that's the average range. Sometimes it's more than that a month, or sometimes it's a bit less, but it's the average thing from 1,500 to $2,000. And if you would talk about European countries these days, from COVID, there was a fund crunch. So if you think about European countries, you should be knowing the fact that, okay, which countries have fund, which labs have fund. So you should look for those labs which have grants like ERC, or in case of Israel, you should look for ISF, the Israel Science Foundation Fund, and these type of funds, BSF. Like you should, whenever you are looking for a lab, you should actually go for these stuffs. And then how to search for a funded position, and how to actually know that there is a vacancy, or there is a funded project. So there are many websites, and also there is a magic tool called LinkedIn. So you should actually search in LinkedIn for open PhD positions. And apart from that, you can also search in Facebook. Twitter also helps, and there is also a website called Find a PhD. But I didn't get much help from Find a PhD. But for me, Twitter actually helped. So you can look for positions in Twitter. It's very extremely helpful. And then how to approach that person. So for that, you should craft a very successful application. For that, you need to have a few things, like your resume or the CV should be strong. You should have some recommendation letters. Usually, it's preferred that you have minimum two recommendation letters, and in some places they ask for three. You should have a motivation letter, or in some places it's just the cover letter. And then in a few places you just need an academic transcript. It's like the mark sheet, but some in some universities it's a bit different. Then in a few of the countries and universities you need English language proficiency test scores. But in case of Israel, you don't need any language proficiency test. Like you don't need to go for TOEFL or IELTS, those exams. And then in a few universities, you need some standardized test scores. But again, in case of Israel, you don't need these things. And then you need a portfolio or sample. Portfolio or sample is specific for like some specific fields. But in case of life science, we actually don't need a portfolio or sample. And we just need a few like a very nice resume. We should like work on those. And I think most of you are from life science department, and like life science background. And again, I think you all are in masters or in bachelors, so it's a very good time to start working on your resume. like doing more internships, learning more skills, and attending some seminars or conferences, trying to give some talks or participating in like science networking programs like this. So, majorly we will be focusing on resume, like what is a good resume, and then we will focus on the cover letter or motivation letter. Oh, okay. Yeah. So, how to write an impressive CV? So, CV is the first thing a professor or a PI will be looking for. So it should have a few things, that is your contact details, and where your LinkedIn profile is a good thing. Like you should have a LinkedIn profile and you should work more on your LinkedIn profile and try adding more contacts, like not adding just contacts who just send you connections, but some real useful contacts, like looking for professors and someone actually doing a PhD or a postdoc or something in your dream university. Then you should have some career objective, like what you plan to be, like if you want to be in academia or you want to be in like the industry, or what's your academic objective or your goal. Then you should have your educational background. Regarding educational background, in some of the universities, they require minimum grade, minimum score. In case of Israel, I think in case of Tel Aviv University specifically, you need a, CGPA of 8, like 8 CGPA is considered good. And if you have 7.5 CGPA, then it's a bit difficult. Like they take two more rounds of interview where you need to defend, kind of defend your master's thesis. Uh, then you should add, then coming back to the CV, you should add your research experience where you can talk about your internships and your master's thesis or whatever you did. Then you can add your academic achievements. An academic achievement can be literally anything, like presenting a paper or giving a talk or something like that. And then you should have some workshops and conferences. These are also like some of the experiences you can add. And then you should be thinking about skills. Skills, for example, if you are applying for evolutionary biology PhD program, then your skill should be that you know Python, or you know coding, programming languages, you know some statistics, statistical tests. And in case of recombination DNA techniques, like if you're working on genetics lab, then you must be knowing a few things, like how to do gel electrophoresis, and like those basic skills and basic things you can add. But honestly speaking, they just look at those skills, but they don't trust you. After they select you, after they take your interview and they are impressed by your interview, they just select you and then they will teach you again when you are there for a PhD. And then you should have some publications. It's not a mandatory thing that you should have a publication, but it's good to have a publication. So for that, maybe you can like not you can also do some things like not go for a scientific research publication because it's really difficult, but you can work on normal magazines, like some science magazines, and do something related to science, and you can also work on those because those are relatively easier. But a research publication is actually valued. And then you should have your references contacts, like if you want to contact or ask if I'm like a good fit for your lab, then you should have some references. So I would prefer to do a thing that maybe I can ask a few of you, like any one of you, that if you any of you is interested to do a small lab search, like based on your interest, if anyone wants voluntarily to come up, and then we can do it. Hello, hello.
Yes, ma'am. You're audible.
Yes. Yeah.
Participants, let's start a discussion now.
Yeah, if you anyone wants to do a like lab search, like how to look for a lab, how to start for searching a PhD position, how to do application, how to write a motivation letter or something like that, then if anyone wants to come up, then we can do it, or we can you can
I
ask
have a doubt.
anything. Yeah, yeah,
May I?
yes, yes, Sundaran.
Okay. Okay. So my doubt was basically like you mentioned there is like a requirement, not a requirement, but like you need to have you might need to have research papers, and you can substitute with that with your science journal or some work magazine work around that. So,
Yeah.
like, would having some work experience after bachelor's
Mm-hmm.
be helpful to pursue a PhD? Like, maybe we take a gap of 1 or 2 years, do some
Mm-hmm.
pursue some work around our
Mm-hmm.
field. Then maybe if we apply PhD, would that be considered good enough?
Okay, so you are talking that you do a bachelor's and then you work somewhere related to your field and not do a master's and then apply for a PhD, something like that?
Yeah, bachelor's as in I'm pursuing BTech. So,
Okay.
like for in my case, maybe I can directly do PhD also, given I have the experience and all. So, if you have any information about this, well, that's why I'm asking. Like, could we
Okay.
substitute papers with some work experience, like for a year or two? So, would that be considered, in good favor?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. And also, like you can do that. But again, whenever someone applies for a PhD with work experience, here in Israel, I've seen they ask you to do a integrated master's and PhD. Like your PhD will take 4 years in Israel, like they say 4 years to 5 years. So they take like usually 4 years to 5 years for a PhD. But in your case, they will do a thing that they will ask you to do a integrated master's and PhD. So it would take like 5 years, 5 years or 5.5 years. And also, there is a very interesting thing here I saw that in most of the universities or in most of the countries, like in different countries, they don't give you a scholarship for doing masters. But here in Israel, they give you like 400 or 4,000 or 5,000 shekels. Let me just convert it into USD for a better understanding. Yeah, so in Israel, they give you like $1,000 a month to pursue a master's, which is actually a very interesting thing. Like they invest a lot in science. And also, if you plan to do so, like if you add your experiences, that actually works. It makes your profile and your resume much stronger.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, most welcome. Does anyone else have anything to ask, or if anyone wants to do a like PhD hunt or something? Okay, I think no. So I will just continue with this then, that how to write your motivation letter. For that, you can actually use ChatGPT. It's amazing. It's like mind blowing. Like after I got my PhD here in Israel, there was a friend who asked me like, "Hey, can you help me, like getting a PhD somewhere in any country, but not Israel, because okay, they think that Israel is a war-prone area, so life might be difficult, but it's not like that." So I just suggested him that go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to write your motivation letter, your cover letter. And now he is in Norway. He is doing his PhD. And so, yeah, ChatGPT helps you a lot in these things. So you can craft amazing motivation letters and cover letters using ChatGPT. And then talking about letter of recommendation, you should have at least two strong recommendations. Recommendation should be mostly one recommendation should be mostly from your master's supervisor, whoever, like under whoever you are doing your master's thesis. And apart from that, one more recommendation letter can be from your HOD or from anyone, whoever you worked under. That's why you should do internship so that you get more exposure and more connections for a letter of recommendation. And that actually helps you. Regarding test scores, I know about Israel, and it's like you don't need any test score. You just go to the lab website and then you mail the professor or the PI that, hey, I'm interested. I went through this paper of yours and it's really interesting. You work on this, and I'm very interested to work on this specific thing. So, can we, like, do you have a position? Can we have a discussion? And then you attach your CV, and that's all. That's the thing you need to do. After that, there is a normal interview, and in that interview, you it's like very basic questions. They don't ask you about a lot about science, but they test you if you know your master's thesis, like if you know what you did in your master's. They will ask you about like what could you have done better in your master's. So be prepared about these type of questions. You don't need to be much prepared about what the person is doing or the small minute things we usually uh, consider whenever we are going for an interview in India. They will ask you only about your master's thesis, and then uh, yeah, that's the thing. And then you have again one more interview with the department, and then it's done. Like it's extremely easy to get a PhD in Israel. It's very extremely friendly. So to get into your dream university, first of all, you should know that, okay, what is your dream university? You shouldn't be very rigid with that. You should shortlist like a few countries first. And then after shortlisting the countries, you should look for the universities, checking their ranking. And after you get the ranking, you should check for each of the professor's profile in your department and your subject interest. And then your resume and the SOP should be prepared, and then you should write the cover letter accordingly. After that, the professor, if he or she is interested in your profile, he or she will reply you, and then you will ask you for recommendation letters from your master supervisor or whoever you want to give recommendation. And then you need to crack the interview and get the offer letter. That's all. That's like a month's work, and it's done. So if you have any queries or doubts, you can ask, and I'm done.
Participants, if you have any doubts or queries you'd like to ask ma'am, you can do it right now. And I hope you all are able to access your mic as well.
Yes. I got a question from Sonali that how to find a right PI. For that, you should, first of all, you should look at the university. That's the most important thing. You should like shortlist a country first, like a few countries, and then you should look at the universities, whichever universities are in the top ranking. And after that, you should go to the profile of each and every professor in that particular university in your department. And then you should check for the grants. Like there will in those lab websites, they've mentioned that which projects are available, which projects have a vacant position for a PhD student or a master student or a postdoc. And then after that, what you do is you look for publications, like how frequently they are publishing. But apart from that, you should look for grants. Grants are very important. Grants means that your project is funded, and your supervisor has enough money to pay you for your PhD, and you won't face any financial crisis at any uncertain moment of your PhD. I hope I'm clear.
Participants, we still have a few more minutes before we conclude the session. So if you have any doubts or any queries you'd like to ask, ma'am, you can do so right now.
You can also contact me in my email, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn. My full name is Pritee Subhadarshini. Actually, I can't type in the chat, like, I don't know why. But yeah, we can connect on LinkedIn and you can ask queries if like required in future. Yeah, like one more question from Sonali, that how, like, what's the difference between doing a PhD in India and abroad? If I talk about the quality of PhD, then it's almost the same. Our Indian universities have the like same quality or better quality. I will say even better quality than any other university. Like if you go for a IIT or for any institute like ISER, NISER, these are amazing universities, and the labs have facilities and everything is good. But then in India, the life of PhD is a bit toxic. Like, I mean, sad but true. You have toxic supervisors, and then there are many other things, like you don't have enough work life balance. Sometimes I have seen, like when I was doing my masters in India, I have seen PhD students, they used to work in the lab on Saturdays and Sundays. It's like proper 24 into 7 work. So these are some issues in doing a PhD in India, because we have so much competition. I mean, in India there is so much competition. So for surviving, you have to struggle more in India. And then it's like the PhD also takes longer, because if it's like If you are not getting enough publication, or if you are not getting enough data and things like that, then your PhD won't be finished. And also, it depends on many other administrative things. But if you are doing a PhD abroad, then it's like you need to do your research proposal in 1 year. In any country, like in Israel, it's like that. You do your research proposal. So you have this 1 year where your supervisor can throw you out, or you can leave your PhD program. And after you submit your research proposal, that moment you are promoted to stage B of your PhD. And after that, uh, your PhD is like smooth, and it's that you know that, okay, I will finish my PhD in the next 3 years or 3.5 years. So this is a thing. And then again, there like in India, you don't have that much financial stability while doing a PhD, but outside you earn enough. You have a life. You have a decent life. That's the difference. But regarding research, India is amazing. If you are doing a PhD from any IIT or any uh, ISER or NISER or these universities, those PhDs are amazing. Research is amazing. I think that's all for today.
I think there are no more doubts now, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah.
So, as we conclude today's session, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to Miss Pritee Subhadarshini ma'am for her inspiring and informative talk. Miss Subhadarshini ma'am's insights into the application process, her practical advice, and her personal experiences have provided invaluable guidance to all aspiring research among us. Thank you to all the participants for your enthusiasm and thoughtful questions, and we hope today's session has motivated you to pursue your academic ambitions with renewed confidence. Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you all the participants. We look forward to seeing you all at our next session. Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot. Bye bye.